You ready? Gotta be first. There we go. So. Alright, well, it's home. It was a struggle getting here. I tried to take video in the car. That didn't really go that well. The camera kept falling over. I don't really know how much footage we got. Got a little bit of outside footage Stacy took driving home, but let's look at these lights. She just got these lights hooked up. Headlights. Ooh, those are bright. Ooh, bright. The headlights working. Let's check these taillights back here. That license plate light is bright. Got tail lights. Let's get one of these signals working. No signal in the back. Maybe the car's got to be running for the signals to work. I don't know. And I think this one might over here might be fog lights. There's the fog lights. Yeah, the signals were working, so I don't know. Yeah, I think the car must have to be on for the signals to work. Yeah, the car must have to be on for the signals to work, but a little indicator for the fog lights. Boop. Those off. I wonder if we can do the hazards. Maybe that'll work. Ah, the hazards work. Oh, apparently it's just the small ones for the hazards. So, yeah, super cool. As far as it running, I've never had one of these things. I don't know how spunky they're supposed to be, but this damn thing would not get out of its own way coming home. I mean, like, I don't know. You know, if you know stuff about Volkswagens, yo, hit me up, because, like, it's gutless. It's a 1600cc, and it's just, I don't know if we're not getting enough fuel or the timing's a little bit off or what. I mean, sitting here, I could fire it up right now. It'll sit here and idle, except I don't have an e-brake. Hold on, let me put something under this back tire. Fire this thing up. Oh. Neutral. No, it doesn't want to start. I mean, it runs. I don't know, man. Ah, see, now they work. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know enough about these things. I really don't know nothing about it. Another thing is like shifting. It's like really hard to find first gear. Like I almost have to put it in reverse, take it out of reverse, and then go forward to find first gear. And then it's fine back to second, third, fourth, you're shifting up. But like coming to a stop sign, if you want to downshift, yeah, not happening. Like you're not going to find second or first. And I don't know if that's like worn out linkage or if that's just not how these cars work. I don't know enough about them. I really don't. But she's home, and I guess we're going to have to figure it out. All right, as you can see, the Beetle's actually in the shop now. We have to address this shifter first. And now we can't get it in first or second gear at all. I just stalled it like 6 times trying to get it in here with third gear because it's kind of uphill into the shop. So I went on YouTube. Well, first I called my father because he used to have some Beetles back in the day, different rails and whatnot, Volkswagen stuff. And told him what it was doing. He explained that in the back where it goes to the transmission, there's a couple of plastic bushings. And if those start to wear out or they break, over time getting brittle, that will cause this problem that we're having. But then I went on YouTube and I watched some videos as to, what exactly we were dealing with these bushings. And it actually turns out there's 3 bushings. There's 2 in the back, and then there's one right up here behind the shifter handle. So basically we got to take the shifter handle off and make sure first that all the parts are there that are supposed to be there. And then check that bushing up front. I'm really hoping the bushing up front is good. It's probably not going to be, just because I want it to be, but I'm hoping it's good because that one is a lot more involved to replace. The one in the back is quite a bit easier to do. There's a little access panel back here, so I'm going to pull this access panel off. I'm going to pull this shifter off and just take a look and see what we're dealing with as far as this shifter is concerned. The crazy part is all of the bushings, if I bought all of them, it's like $7.28 before tax and shipping. $7.28. $7 to fix it. But if you got to replace this front one, you have to slide the shaft all the way out the front of the car. So it's like, a couple hours worth of work for not even $10 in parts. Wish me luck. Let me show you what we found. So, looking in the back, I noticed the access panel's not even there. We can see the shift linkage right here. Both those bushings look good. There's a bushing in each side of the bolt going through it there. Those both look good, which brought us up to here. I pulled the shift lever out. It's got everything appears to be here, spring, whatnot. The first thing I noticed, which I was kind of surprised, was this plate's actually broken. One side of it looks like it's bent up. I don't think that's supposed to be like that. Pretty sure that's bent. I could be wrong, I guess, but it definitely appears as if it's ripped. So, we're going to have to get one of these. Have to add that to the list of parts. But unfortunately, kind of how I figured, I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. Down in there. What do I do with that flashlight? Oh, let me see if I can get it for you. Right there. See that hole back there where the shaft goes through? There's supposed to be a bushing there. And there is no bushing there. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to slide this shaft all the way out the front of the car. So, yeah, I'm going to have to order those parts on Rock Auto with the slide slide this shaft all the way at the front of the car. But before we do that, let's talk about the new project. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about Batman. Yeah, you heard me right. I said let's talk about Batman. It's a weird topic, I know. We're in a garage with cars and race cars and stuff, but I grew up with an older brother who was obsessed with Batman. So, everything there was to do with Batman. He has Batman tattoos, he has Batman figures, he named his kids after Batman characters. Obsessed. But comic books really aren't my thing, so it was always about the vehicles, right? Like the crazy cars and stuff. And if you go all the way back to Adam West Batman, it was a Lincoln Futura that they used for the Batmobile. Now, after that, they got a little bit crazier. Kind of looked like a stealth jet turned into a car, the Michael Keaton version. And then, after that with Val Kilmer and George Clooney, those ones, the Batmobile just kept getting like weirder, more cartoony almost, less and less looking like a real car. Which then brings you to Christopher Nolan's Batman, where we have the Tumbler, which is like, I don't even know what to call that, like a tank mixed with a sprint car and a tractor. That thing's crazy, the Tumbler. And then after the Tumbler, you've got Affleck's Batman, which is like a cross almost between like the earlier Michael Keaton and Clooney cars mixed with the Tumbler, which was really super cool. But then you come to the newest version of the Batman with Robert Pattinson. If you haven't seen it, the Batmobile in the newest movie is based off of more a muscle car feel and look. Everything I've heard and read, they say it's based off a '69 Charger. Looking at the roofline, it does appear to be that of a '69 Charger or very similar. However, nothing else about the car looks Charger-ish at all. The fenders are real curved, they're big wide body, it doesn't really look like a Charger at all. If you go on YouTube and you search, you can find a video from WB about the new Batmobile and how they built it. And it's basically an entirely tube chassis car. 3 of them were powered by LS engines and one of them was electric, of course. But they're pretty crazy contraptions, you know. They're all-wheel drive on demand, so they can turn it on and off. Rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, so the stunt guys can do what they gotta do. And they have like long travel suspension, like a off-road truck or off-road buggy. They're pretty wild. Most of the stuff on the outside of the car is actually not real. It's just special effects. So like the engine in the back is completely printed aluminum. Like it looks like this big wild V12/jet engine kind of contraption. There's like 15 exhaust pipes on this car. There's 2 on the front, or not on the front, but on the sides right behind the front wheels. There's 6 on top of the hood. Then there's like 4 more in the back, and then you've got the jet engine exhaust in the dead center of the back. Like functionally it doesn't make sense, but it looks cool for film, you know, lots of pyrotechnics and stuff, you know, to make it look extra cool and crazy, because it is supposed to be a Batmobile. Makes sense, right? So a Charger chassis, like just a rotted out hull of a Charger, is like $11,000. So I mean, for the common guy, yeah, it's not gonna happen. You're not gonna buy. You're not gonna. We don't have enough money for that, okay? And that's not even talking about the tube chassis, the entire tube chassis, and then the all-wheel drive on demand. Like we can't build a Batmobile, not with those specs anyway. It's just not possible. I mean, it's not a surprise Hollywood used a '69 Charger, because they seem to love '69 Chargers. They put them in everything. They smash a lot of them, hence why they're so expensive. Outrageously expensive. I would love to have one. Probably a '68 personally. I like the round taillights. But yeah, I can't afford. We can't afford that. We could probably build something that kind of looks like that, just not from a Charger. I think some of you know where I'm going with this if you follow Build a Kingdom on Facebook. I posted a picture of the project we picked up yesterday. That's why not a lot of actual mechanical work got done here, because we had to take a little drive to the southern tier of New York to pick up a car. Yeah, we picked up a '68 Firebird. Not a Charger, a Firebird. But let me show you the roof line and fender lines on top of each other so you can see what I see with the body lines and how we are going to try and turn a '68 Firebird into something that even somewhat resembles that car. Yeah, we can't build a Batmobile. We'll have to call it something else. Bradmobile, Badmobile, I don't know. Something, because it's not going to be the same, obviously. We can't. The motor's not even real in the back. We couldn't even afford to print that motor, probably. So I don't know what exactly we're going to do with the back of the car. The tube structure and stuff we'll do, because that looks really cool. And then the front, we'll do some type of artistic metal work to make it kind of look like that. And then we are going to wide body, you know, we're going to wide body this Firebird. We're going to spread it out, make it pretty wide. I'm going to look at some 10-inch wide wheels, hopefully this week. I don't know. We're going to try. We're going to try. It's going to be a pretty wild project. Anyways, here's the roofline comparison and a picture of the Firebird if you haven't been onto the Facebook. And then it's a little windy and rainy today, but tomorrow we'll take a ride to where I have the Firebird right now and do a little walk around, talk about it. Yeah, there you go. There she is. It's a little bit windy out here. Hopefully you can hear me. From that top bottom view that I just showed you, hopefully you can see the same curvature that I see. The curve of this front fender is extremely similar to that Batmobile. I don't think we have to do a whole lot here other than widen the front end. The wheel lip is also very similar to the way it is on the Batmobile. This back quarter panel, the curve is there. You can see the curve, but it's kind of got to go up. So we kind of got to go out and then up, maybe tip the back up a little bit, and we got to wing the back tip there and out. I'm actually, where this curve comes in here, when we move this up, I'll probably move this up so that this curve, where it comes down right here, actually comes down to this edge. And I think that'll put this curve right about where it's supposed to be to give it that big winged look. The one thing I don't like about the new Batmobile is the side of the car is very flat. There's no body line definition really. I mean, you got all that cool stuff on the hood and all that cool stuff on the back, and then the side of the car is kind of boring. You know, other than the exhaust outlet behind the front fender there and like the side step thing they've got on it, it's kind of boring. So I'm not sure. We might change a little bit here on the side. We might leave this wheel lip too, just because it gives it a little bit more character. We got to see how it looks after we pop it all out, widen the car out. She's rough, as you can see. I mean, she's pretty rusty. Got some holes, but we're gonna be doing a lot of metal work, so not that big a deal. I'll grab the camera and do a little walk around here for you. So, got the curves of the fenders, right? The roof line is very similar. Another thing about the Batmobile is it has, behind the front custom grille on that new Batmobile, it has 4 headlights. So this works out perfectly. Once we hide these behind the grille, it'll look exactly the same. We're gonna get rid of all of this. It's like, first gen Camaros are like my favorite cars. First gen Firebirds are, they're basically a Camaro other than the front. It's like, I'm sorry, some guys are not gonna like this. It's like the Sarah Jessica Parker of F-bodies. Like, they did so good, and then this is just, it's so ugly. Like, if I was to buy one of these cars, I would completely modify the front of it just because that looks so bad. Yeah, I'm not a fan. So, this thing is, yeah, it's gonna need a little bit. Let's get some big holes in the floor, Flintstone style. And then the back of the car, I mean, we're gonna remove all of this. It's all gonna be wide open, you know, right straight up in there, like the Batmobile is now. So, this side is definitely not the Craigslist side, which is funny because this picture wasn't on Craigslist. I actually said that when we got out. I was like, I see why he didn't show anybody this side of the car. Somebody obviously put a patch panel in there, and they had ground all the Bondo out of it to find out what was underneath. The other side, I'm sure, looks exactly the same as this if we were to grind all the Bondo out of it. You can see it's pretty. It's got a little glass there, little Bondo. This side probably looks exactly the same as that side. They just took the Bondo off that side. But again, not a big deal. For what we're doing, we're gonna cut it up. You know, purists are gonna hate on us right now, but another problem we have is this is a base model car. It's got drum brakes and no power steering. So manual steering, drum brakes. Basically my idea is to take this shell and put it on a G-body chassis. So Monte Carlo Regal Cutlass. The wheelbase is pretty close to the same. This is 108. The G-bodies are like 108.1. So that's fine for what we're doing because we got to move that rear quarter panel anyway. So yeah, so I'm on the hunt for a G-body chassis. My buddy's got one that was a pure stock. The front frame horn's been on it. We might get that one. Another buddy has one that is basically a bare chassis with only lower control arms. I'm thinking maybe I'll buy both, make one good chassis, and then we can set this on that chassis. What's it going to do to ride height? I don't know. The new Batmobile sits pretty high, so I don't think it's going to be a problem, even if it does sit a little bit higher. I think it's going to be perfect for what we're trying to do. And then I got a line on some really wide wheels that we're going to go look at. But that's what we're dealing with. We are losing sunlight quick out here. I need to kick this thing off the trailer because I got to go pick up my little cousin's truck. Her transmission broke, so it never ends, man. You got to keep on rolling, so I got to push this thing off. Till next time, keep it creative and happy building.